Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with another daily Casper and crypto live stream, and we are in the final stretch now before Casper undergoes a game-changing upgrade, one that will let it confidently compete with every other crypto in the ecosystem, with the likes of XRP or the likes of Sui, Solana, you name it. We are about to make history. And with it, I'm going to be making a video later today. Going to be somewhat based around this stream as well, but it's going to be talking about what Vinci Jeremy recently stated about how Casper, well, his words, Casper may recover the cycle, but it may not, but it will do great in the future, and that is what I'm going to use as the talking point. Vinci Jeremy, who was massively anti-Casper, has now realised its potential going forward, so he accepts that Casper is a good investment. For someone who's a Bitcoin maxi and hates everything else, that is a very big deal for Casper holders, and that's going to be a very common trait we see with many Bitcoin maximalists. People who are holding Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone because they don't trust anything else, rightly so, they may start to shift narrative and start to be holding Casper. Think about how many holders there are for Bitcoin. And just a small percentage, just 1% of those people to switch to start holding Casper, or even just diversify into holding Casper as well. We are very, very early, and Casper is an asset that, in my personal belief, you can retire with it if you were to scoop up some today, or you're holding some right now, in the next couple of years to follow. With this sort of, again, it depends on how much Casper you're holding. It's completely up to you, but Casper for me is an asset that is going to soar leaps and bounds, and you will be able to retire your bloodlines off it as the monetary system collapses and we see the rise of cryptocurrency. So in today's stream, we're going to be going through some of the recent Casper news, what's to look forward to, some information that even myself I forgot about, and we're going to cover it again in this stream to remind us of what is coming to Casper, some good macro or fundamental news as well for other projects, some other important stuff as well, and ultimately where I believe we are going with crypto in this cycle. But as always, if you enjoy, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And welcome back everyone again to the Quick Crypto channel. Greg, my man, welcome back. Happy 6 days and 20 hours until hard fork, everyone. We are almost there. Absolutely wild indeed. Yes, we are in the end game now. To quickly touch on that for those who may be watching and confused, at least in the idea of what it will mean for the price, in my belief, not financial advice. Yes, we are 1 week away, or 6 days and 20 hours, as Greg highlights, until the Crescendo activation. While it is entirely possible, I am personally not expecting Casper to start jumping leaps and bounds off the back of 10 BPS. 10 BPS is a game-changing upgrade, but it's just a foundation layer. Imagine you're building a house. Casper already has the floors. The Crescendo is like, building up the walls. So 10 BPS build up the walls. Smart contracts is decorating the interior to actually make it available to be sold properly and actually have some form of value behind it. That's not the best analogy, but that's the one that just popped into my mind. So 10 BPS, while it's still very crucially important for infrastructure and for Casper's growth going forward, it won't necessarily cause the price momentum or the price rallying, but it will be a snowball effect for price to start rallying in the coming weeks and months, and I'll get into why. Welcome back, Cryptoni bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. You too, Justin Crypto, and you too, Buffalo, all of you, welcome back to the family. Anthony was expecting it to rocket today, with it being the start of its last 7 days before the big day. Maybe later in the week, my man. Again, it's potential, but for me, once more, I don't think that 10 BPS in and of itself is a price pumper. I think 10 BPS is an extremely, bullish update. And of course, it's going to be game changer for Casper and crypto as a whole, but I don't think 10 BPS in and of itself is a price pumper. You're more likely to see price volatility, price pumping on the back of stablecoin adoption and smart contract integration. Those of which will be coming soon afterwards. So again, 10 BPS is going to be a snowball effect, but that in and of itself I don't think will pump the price. But again, we've got a week, so we'll have to wait and see. And welcome back to you too, Magnus, bro. Hopefully all having a very, very good day so far. That being said, let's get into today's content. So of course we are sitting very comfy right now. We can see 91% of the mining nodes have now switched to the new arcade version 1, which is of course really good to see. Understandable though, of course, because remember, with this new Crescendo activation happening, all of these old nodes down here will become obsolete. They will not work. So everybody has to, for you to be able to mine Casper, has to switch to the new one. So this will be 100% very, very soon. But above 90% now, 1 week left, is really, really good to see. Casper is looking very, very strong. The hash rate equally is starting to make a nice recovery again. Been hovering around 1 extra hash for quite some time. Now we are seeing it trying to make a move towards 1.1. Potentially this is a sign that we're going to start seeing Casper making that rally back up to 1.5 again. As Casper highlighted in a post yesterday, he will be able to bring more value to the old miners he has, like KS0 miners, because not for the element of making profit, but being able to sustain the network and actually be able to hit the block. So you may see more miners turning online following TBPS as well, increasing the hash rate and therefore increasing the security of Casper as well. The price, of course, will hopefully follow the hash rate, but again, we'll have to wait and see. I think we need to see smart contracts and some other event catalysts that will also result in tier 1s adopting Casper as well. We can see it's doing very, very well. Holders again are starting to rally up at 522,908 holders now. Been going up steadily over the past few days. We can see again, we've seen quite a lot of inflows today. 23 million from Gate, 14 million from number 6 unknown wallet, 985 from another unknown wallet, 28. We're seeing some good inflows right now, and equally the elusive number 2 hasn't bought any as of yet, but they are still sitting at 702 million Casper. Hopefully this will also transition into a listing if it is, in our belief, to be Binance Exchange. Again, we're still waiting for Binance. We still have no confirmation of when Binance are coming, but we like to believe it's not far off now. At all. As you can see, of course, you have Binance here, number 1 exchange, Coinbase, and OKX. We can see right now the volume for Casper is starting to make a bit of a move, which is good as well, at 101 million. Of course, the higher the better, and of course, more importantly, with the top exchanges being the likes of Kraken, Bybit, and BitGet, if they are higher of those exchanges and high volume in general, that's also a good indicator that tier 1s are preparing, or they're taking note of that and potentially about to list Casper as well. Either way, the price is doing quite strong. If we look at the market right now, we can see that Bitcoin is just short of 95k again and seemingly consolidating right now. This actually is extremely bullish for me, while again pullbacks in the immediate short term are entirely possible. This is once more leading me to believe that May is going to potentially be another bullish month, because we are seeing Bitcoin right now consolidate at this upper level of resistance, which we saw last time. Think about it with Casper, for example. We saw that back here with Casper. Of course, it can go either way, but last time we saw it with Casper, it broke through. And then when you take the M2 supply into consideration as well, you can see the M2 supply, if I quickly just align the charts up, equally has Bitcoin potentially seeing some form of rejection over the coming days, but at the same time, going into May and going into the beginning of June as well, we start seeing Bitcoin surpass 100k, even start making that push towards 100k and then upwards as well. So again, not 100% correlation, 80% correlation, but still quite an accurate indicator, and leads me to believe that Bitcoin, ideally at this point now, unless we get some unfortunate news, Bitcoin will unlikely retrace below 90k now. So it's unlikely we'll see Bitcoin come below that. Worst case, we'll see Bitcoin come down here and then make a push past that resistance, past 96k, and the next leg of the bull run will be well underway. Casper is currently down 1.99% on the daily time frame, valued at 9.5 cents. And this is also coinciding to what we said the last few days as well, that we see Casper break above this level of resistance, seeing it rejected at 11 cents. And right now we're going to see if we can find some form of support or place to rebound. An element of TA or market analysis you could use is the fib retracement. It's quite a good tool people use. Take from the bottom trend, upwards trend here, and lets you know the rough area to where Casper could potentially see a reversal. Typically, it would be the golden ratio between 8.1 and 7.49, 7.5. For me, I'm more hopeful, and it'd be in a more bullish case that Casper gets rejected at the 8.8 zone around here. If we do, at this white part here, that means that Casper is more likely to see a much higher and quicker bullish rally upwards as well. If it comes down to the golden pocket, then again, that's not bad either. That's also, again, TA is all relative, highlighting once again the fundamentals matter more so for me, and equally what Trump says in the immediate short term will matter more so. The TA is irrelevant if Trump says, haha, China, we're going to nuke you. God forbid. But, you know, you get my point here. It's still, you know, useful to know this sort of stuff, but we have to wait and see where it goes from here. But this gives me an understanding of where potential levels of resistance are going to be right now for Casper, which for me, it looks like we're going to see some form of resistance in and around this zone around here. And if we do see it rebound off that, that'd be fantastic, and then be a good indicator of us making a push, surpassing 11 cents, going up towards the higher levels, and hopefully therefore igniting the next Casper leg up, seeing it start to make this move as it was doing right now, up, down like that. And we're going to get into some of the news today as well, go to the macro news before we get into the Casper news right now. But the title of the stream is Retire Today with Casper, 1 week remaining, of course, talking about Crescendo, and I think right now is as opportune as any has been for buying Casper. Not financial advice, of course, but I'm still DCing into Casper right now, and I might look to buy some more in these current pullback. If it comes out a little bit further, then of course I'll scoop up some more as well. Welcome back, my man. Will you be streaming the live during the hard fork? I hadn't contemplated doing it, but I am not opposed to doing so either. I have to check exactly what time it goes live in the UK where I am, because if it is a very unopportunistic time, so it's, let's say it's 4 a.m. for where I'm at. I mean, I'm normally awake by that point, but I know for a fact that most of my viewers are not awake when it's 4 a.m. where I'm at. This is the best time for me to stream, around 8 p.m. BST. I can get away with streaming earlier, sometimes at 4, but I try to always go live at the same time. But of course, I will definitely take into consideration, because of course it's an historic day, so it would be almost silly of me not to stream during the Crescendo hard fork. I'm sure you'll see many other devoted Casper content creators, probably like Casper Silver and them lot, also doing something similar, and we'll do a whole watch party about it. Why not? What's up, AW? What's up, QC? Thanks for the daily streams. Do you think smart contracts will come in May or later this year? Good question, and thank you very much for your support, brother. From what we have seen, we are going to get the ZK native smart contract developments will apparently be coming out either Q3 or Q4 this year, and then smart contracts that refer to the Ethereum virtual machine elements that will be coming out, for me, absolute worst case, unless, well, for me right now, from what I've heard, worst case it's going to be June, but likely it's going to be May, and I'll get into exactly why in the stream as well. We moon yet? No, not yet, Wing Hong. We've still got a while to wait, brother. Be patient. What's up, Eternal Nightman? Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the stream as always. Cryptech Odie, welcome back, brother. Exchanges and traders will not let Casper pump. The performance is so sad. It pumps once, it dumps twice. The 10 PPS will be 100% by the rumors of the news for the short-term traders. I mean, yes, there's also a strong possibility that this is FOMO pumping, and once it actually is released, the traders and exchanges might decide to push the price back down further. And while that's a possibility, again, for me, the incoming release of smart contracts and stablecoins on Casper will help solidify that element, or at least stop it from preventing it from being dumped further and start to see a further reversal. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But at the end of the day, we've seen a massive correction with Casper over a long period of time. Every single project in this space has come down as much as Casper. Difference is Casper did it over a prolonged 9-month period here. Look at Solana, look at Ethereum, look at Sui. They did the exact same thing percentage-wise for Casper. I mean, Sui was probably not as much. I think it was 60%. Well, actually, it was almost as much. 67%, that's just slightly. Casper was 73%. So it did almost as much as Casper correcting-wise. It's just the difference was it happened from January to April. So 3 months, but Casper did it over a prolonged 9-month period. So it was a more gradual decrease. But that don't get me wrong, this sort of price, this market, can exhaust people more so. So when you see a kind of quicker dump and recovery like Sui's doing right now, that is quite reassuring for the project, those who are holding it, as opposed to seeing something that's taken such a long time to, come back very, very slowly. So it can be quite exhausting as an investor looking at that chart. But for me, again, I'm not particularly worried, at least for the time being. I still think Casper's going to shock a lot of people. And in fact, before I get into the macro, I was going to do that first. I'll get into the Casper news and explain why I think Casper's still going to shock a lot of people. So to start off with, it plays off this video. I'm going to make my own YouTube video about it later. But it starts off from this video from none other than Vinci Jeremy, who is notorious Bitcoin maxi. He allegedly called Bitcoin at $1, and he's been holding it for a very, very long time. He's very, very bullish on Bitcoin, of course, and he is so Bitcoin maximalist that he refuses to acknowledge any other project. That's how he has always been, pretty much, and it's understandable. Bitcoin being what it is, godfather of crypto, the most trustworthy, decentralized, trying to trust something like XRP and other assets is not going to be something that is really easily done. And even then, like, as much as I hold those assets, I don't trust them, but I see the potential of making money with them because of their institutional backing. Tangent aside, Vinci Jeremy mentions in this 30-second video of his that alts are struggling, Bitcoin is still dominating, which it is, although the very simple reason for why Bitcoin's dominating is because Bitcoin dominance is up. That happens every cycle, so that is not, that's not an Einstein thing to acknowledge, right? Vinci Jeremy said that very same thing back here as well. Alts are struggling right now, and Bitcoin's dominating. That happens every single cycle. Bitcoin dominance goes up, alts kind of follow along with it and don't do very well. And eventually, when the Bitcoin dominance does fall off, alts will start going parabolic and outperforming Bitcoin in that regard. Bitcoin from here, best case scenario, if we're talking absolute best case, 2x to 200k, and that's for me very, very bullish. But you look at something like Casper, comparatively, can Casper 2x to reach 20 cents? That for me is, if you don't reach 20 cents, I'll be beyond shocked. I don't see a Wobber Casper can't reach that personally. I think Casper can surpass expectations. So again, Vinci Jeremy talking about how alts are struggling, Bitcoin's dominating, and he's talking about how part of the reason why alts are struggling is because there's too many coins now. There's not enough money out there, but there's too many projects out there. And highlights therefore that alts like Casper, he names drops Casper, alts like Casper, it may recover. He says maybe $1, $2, I don't know, I'm not so sure. But he does highlight at the end here, maybe not the cycle, but what I do believe it will do well in the future. So Vinci Jeremy highlights in this little post here, he believes that Casper will do well in the future, which is very reassuring, or maybe not the right terminology, but it's quite, ironic, because Vinci Jeremy was, having it out with Shy, and he was throwing slander after slander at Casper because it's going through a hard fork and it's terrible. It's not going to be able to adhere to Bitcoin, the standard jargon that you get from Bitcoin maximalist. But now he's here saying it'll do well in the future. Now we can all attest to that. You've got so many big upgrades coming up for Casper. It's going to do well in the future. That's why if you were to hold Casper today and hold it for the future to be, you could retire with Casper. Forget a 401k, you could hold Casper alternatively, not financial advice, of course. But the only thing I want to depict about this, while that is for me very true, is also the fact that, and it's because they don't know as much about Casper than we do here, or because they haven't researched, or because they are ignoring the fact Casper has a lot of significant catalysts that will happen in this cycle that are not being taken into account, that could result in seeing a blow off top. The fact that layer 1 on Casper will store the states of layer 2s blows everybody's minds. It should do. You can reconstruct the state of layer 2s just by using Casper's base layer. Notice on Polinsky and other devs have made Casper into something truly incredible. As an added bonus, this ensures layer 1 is secured as layer 2s have to pay the miner fees. The fact that never, actually done before, you have these layer 2s, and layer 2s are, they're their own businesses, their own chains, they're greedy. Ethereum, the layer 2s steal so much of the, transactions and money from Ethereum's base layer. With how Casper's designed, the layer 2s can't do that. And if they try to do that, well, people just wouldn't use it. So Casper has that massive advantage in that regard. And then you have this whole thing that I mentioned a little while back, with Vite making a very, very lengthy post here, talking ultimately about where Casper's currently positioned and ultimately where it's going to go as well. And I made a little bit of a TLDR about that in my Discord server, which to ultimately highlight here, Michael Sutton, one of the core devs of Casper, did say that, a very great post, really, really great post here, and he highlights this part here. So to ultimately summarize what he's saying in this lengthy post here is Casper's Crescendo upgrade coming out in less than a week now, and pre-ZK-rollups, so before we get the ZK native rollups, they don't fully fix the layer 2 fragmentation like Ethereum. So without the ZK, Casper's going to be like early day Ethereum, which even in that regard, that's insane. To be compared to early day Ethereum, same speed, same security, proof of work is a very, very impressive feat. But then you've got without, or then you've got with, then you've got with ZK rollups. The future ZK smart contract upgrade with layer 1 based ZK verification and direct cross-contact communication. This aims to solve the shortcomings of Ethereum by allowing atomic multi-layer 2 transactions without bridges. Ultimately, it will make Casper much more secure while also being able to run smart contracts on the native blockchain, the block DAG, the infrastructure, which is a massive upgrade. And therefore, the whole issue that miners had and the people not getting their money's worth because the layer 2s are stealing it, you can't have that in Casper, which further then secures and brings more incentives to mine on the network, therefore increasing the hash rate for Casper, and that will also correlate to strengthening security again, give and take, and also therefore increasing Casper price as well. You can see it from Christian Ludwig. Ethereum virtual machine ERC20 token deployment on Casper layer 2. Deploy tokens on Casper layer 2 directly through Casper.com, so they're already getting up and running, which is really reassuring to see as well. And it gets very, very better very, very soon. This takes 30 seconds on Ethereum, and on Casper it takes just 4. That is nuts. That is nuts. 8 times faster. And that is, we've still got more upgrades coming through as well. We are very, very early. Casper smart contract execution is the same speed as Solana without transaction failures and with Bitcoin-like decentralization and security. The analogy that I keep providing about Casper recently is Casper is the security and decentralized nature of Bitcoin while having the interoperability nature of Ethereum to be able to connect to any other chain and being as quick, if not quicker, than Solana. It's the best of the 3 top projects, their best infrastructure, their best features, all combined into one without the shortcomings. That's what Casper is. And that's going to, right now, if you think about adoption and holding of Casper, right? There's been something that's been circulating for quite some time now, which I've always kind of overlooked, but think about it now, it does start to make a bit more sense to me more and more, which is in the future, market cap won't matter. It sounds weird to say that, I know, but just stay with me here. Market cap is determined by the price of the token times the supply of the token, right? But here we go into the future of crypto becoming the infrastructure layer for payments going back and forth. You're going to see a lot more volume transacting through these crypto technologies, these infrastructures, like Casper's layer 1 as well. That will therefore increase the demand for Casper as a gas fee. So by that logic, there's going to be, there might only be, let's just say, a $10 billion market for Casper, but you have, hundreds of billions in volume flowing through Casper, which will increase the demand and therefore also add a potential to increase the Casper price going forward as well. And what's very interesting, again, while we talk about, Casper will do well in the future, which of course I do wholeheartedly believe, I still think it's going to do very, very well this cycle because people are going to realize the benefits of ZK, native smart contracts and Casper. And while that's coming out later on, people are going to say it's come out too late. For me, it's not, because Casper's already taken the right procedures right here and now to make sure that they will be getting the early adoption. So when they do get the native smart contracts, they're already going to have some form of infrastructure there for it. So in that regard, I'm going to replay something that I played in the past, which is an interview with KEF, where you can hear Casper confirm that Casper are already starting to get some early adoption and bridging to other blockchains. Take a very close listen.
And for this, and this is a small alpha, but obviously we cannot say names, but for everyone here to be aware that we are already collaborating with other entities to build a bridge, not only between obviously layer 1 and layer 2 Casper, but also between Casper layer 2 and other blockchains.
So they are not just bridging their layer 2 to other layer 2s, they're getting other layer 2s to literally build on top of the Casper blockchain right here and now. That is what's coming to Casper. 10 BPS is less than a week away. We have showcased proof in recent streams how the Casplex team have got some new node indexer upgrades coming out that have to be migrated to before 10 BPS, which allows the opcodes of stablecoins coming out and other elements to able to blend to other virtual machines coming out later on as well. It's a very significant upgrade for Casplex. So Casplex right now are going to be the first movers, early movers to bridge and get adoption on Casper through stablecoins, through smart contracts, through bridging other blockchains on Casper as well, partnering with them. KEF Executive VP Johnny has been speaking to Tether and Circle and other stablecoin issuers to build or bridge on top of Casper as well. So while, yes, Vinci Jeremy is right, in the future Casper is going to do very, very well, and I of course can say that, I still think, and it's because of how exhausting the price has been for Casper for so long, how exhausting this chart has been for so long, people are now under the impression that Casper is not going to perform very well. Look at every other project, and whilst Casper's unique in its own regard, look at every other project in this space that did nothing until the last 2-3 months of the cycle and then exploded 10-20x in value. Solana did an 8x, Cardano did a 10x, AVAX went from 2 billion to 30 billion, a 15x in value. Casper, as an infrastructure, is more superior. As a crypto market, there's more capital in this market here and now than there has ever been. And while some assets have been picked out as winners already, Casper is going to steal liquidity from other chains because its infrastructure will be unable to be ignored. And of course, what's the point of infrastructure if you have no adoption? What I just showcased, audio proof from Casper, who's working alongside the Casplex team, that they are in contact with other blockchains right now. You've seen proof that they've got the likes of Uniswap, who are also trying to work and build on Casper as well. I don't think it's actually Uniswap as the platform itself, but Uniswap, the chain in itself. So it's not actually Uniswap. Without a better choice, it was Uniswap company. It's not Uniswap people, but people who have built Uniswap chain on Casper. So that early adoption is going to help massively in getting Casper some, again, initial pumping and some early adoption. And then when the ZK native smart contracts come out on Casper, when therefore the KII build their projects on Casper with the ZK smart contracts, when Dagna potentially comes up the cycle as well, we got, which is going to be the next part here as well, that's going to generate so much more increasing demand because people are going to start building on Casper. The Ethereum tools will start coming to Casper. They'll see the superiority of the chain being decentralized, secure, and extremely cheap and quick. So more beneficial. And then they'll start seeing the native stuff coming on. You'll see them putting word of mouth, speaking to other people about how efficient Casper is, and you see native smart contract, and then you see how it continues to snowball in that regard. Earlier today, we saw a post that stated that Spain and Portugal have been hit by a massive blackout, knocking out electricity across both countries entirely. Internet and mobile services are reportedly down as well. That is insane. But why do I highlight that? Because Casper in the future will be, I won't say solve this, but it'll be resistant to these sort of issues. If this happened, with crypto still being a part of the financial system or just the system in general by that point, and Bitcoin, when the system comes back up, that could cause issues, massive issues. And there's actually an analogy about that here. For example, Bob pays 10 Bitcoin to Bill in exchange for a Lamborghini. Bill receives the Bitcoin and Bob drives away in the Lamborghini. The sale is complete. But what they didn't know is that 10 minutes before the transaction was broadcast, there was an internet outage, like we're seeing in Portugal and Spain right now. Bill sees that Bitcoin was confirmed in his wallet, so he thought it was all good, but once the internet comes back on hours or days later, it goes down to the longest chain rule that's selected. And for this example, Bill's Bitcoin was a part of the chain that was not part of the longest chain, therefore it was discarded. Therefore, UTXO was discarded and Bob received that UTXO back. Now, either Bob could do the right thing and, give the money back to Bill that he paid, or he can keep the Bitcoin and the new car and just completely screwing over. And in a world where people by human nature are just greedy, more than likely you're going to see the latter. But it would not happen with Casper because all blocks are accepted on the network with no discarding or orphaning. So probabilistically, finality means the transactions is more and more likely to be irreversible the longer it stays in the blockchain, but is never guaranteed with 100% certainty. With Bitcoin, probabilistic finality is 60 minutes or 6 confirmation block. With Casper, it's 10 seconds or 10 blocks. And with Dagnite, finality is achieved at network latency, which means transactions will confirm at the speed of the internet and immediately become irreversible. There is no crypto or money system in existence that can achieve this. Casper is the only one who is close to achieving this and exploring this right now. And of course, it's a conversation about we won't see Dagnite anytime soon. And again, we don't know for sure. We do know that Michael Sutton has confirmed that perhaps in 2025 we will see Casper release Dagnite. At least he's hinting as such here, which would be absolutely insane if that's the case. And we do also know that the infrastructure of Dagnite has a lot of similarity to the current Ghost Dag. So while it's still a work in progress, they're still trying to sort stuff out. Right now they're focusing on Crescendo hard fork. 7 days left. After that, Michael Sutton and team will start working on Dagnite, while Sam Polinsky works on the smart contract ZK architecture. That's also been confirmed as well in previous posts. So there's a possibility we see Dagnite come out this year, and if that's the case, that sort of infrastructure is going to be in such high demand. Because companies who realize that and see that, they're going to be, panicking. Completely panicking. If right now we're in the internet infrastructure, digital era, if the internet goes down, you're screwed. If a cyber attack happens, you are screwed. But Casper will be able to solve that. That will also generate so much more adoption. So yes, while Vinci Jeremy is right, Casper will do well in the future. What's coming out this cycle? The smart contract, the stablecoins, the 10 BPS. That will generate more adoption. And then think about that FOMO that may drive also the desirable need to list the project from tier ones, the Binances, the Coinbases, the OKXs, the Robinhoods, the Geminis, the Crypto.coms. Casper has, to my knowledge, the most number of catalysts that will help in its price rallying, and majority, if not all of them, are coming out this cycle. Most other projects have already been positioned and they've got the VCs pumping the bag, so they're going to do well, no doubt. Looking at XRP, looking at Sui, they'll do well, and I do believe that much. But Casper, much more organically, I think will do as well, if not better. My personal belief, not financial advice, because they have so much incoming, and it will be unavoidable. Dagnite's going to be an absolute game changer for Casper. Dagnite achieves the internet chaos resistance that no other financial infrastructure or no other cryptocurrency can attain to. If you see an internet outage, every single crypto, scroll down this list, every single one will get hit, and they will lose, and it will be a problem. Casper is the only one right now who has the infrastructure, who's looking at the infrastructure to protect himself from this. While institutions and while people are greedy, what they care more than anything else is safety. Safety always trumps greed, more often than not. And that will make Casper more desirable as well due to its safety. We are in a very, very fortunate position right now to be looking at Casper while it's only at 9.58 cents. Even those who are seeing it down here at 5.3 cents, those who are seeing it back here at 4 cents, people who are seeing it down here at 1 cent. We're here before Casper becomes the world-renowned cryptocurrency and infrastructure that it's destined to be. Before you can actually retire with Casper, it's an asset that can easily jump leaps and bounds this cycle, and then, as Vinci Jeremy highlights, in the years to follow as well. And that's just Casper as an individual. Then you've got to think about how much higher we go as a collective in this crypto market. We have seen from institutional research papers that I've disclosed to the VIP groups in my Coin Factory VIP group, then speculating we see minimum 5, but more likely 10 trillion market cap. Now for me, 10 trillion is a bit much, but either way, if you see 5 or even 6 trillion, that is still a massive 2x jump from here. You're seeing interviews from, people who are well versed in this space as well. The ETF issuer from Bitwise, who said that 4-year Bitcoin cycle is dead. And that sounds weird to say, but that is the case. It's the case because with regulatory clarity coming through so soon, with the high chance we're going to see Bitcoin reserves, strategic reserves coming out, the whole 4-year cycle, which means, as I've been talking about time, again, it's not confirmation, we're still early doors, but the whole 4-year cycle you see with crypto and Bitcoin, where you see it pump up, come down, bear market, pump up, come down, bear market, pump, like all that sort of stuff. That could be coming to an end because you're going to start seeing this year, later this year, very, very soon, you're going to see institutions starting to buy and hold Bitcoin as a store of value like they do with gold. And they won't sell it, or unlikely they'll sell it at the peak of the bull cycle. People who are going to sell it are the retailers, or those who manipulate the market. Right now, to my knowledge, there's about $58 trillion in the stock market. That market is determined and destined to be on crypto technology. I think BlackRock CEO says stocks, bonds, real estate will all be on blockchain, tokenized. So you've got 58 trillion in the stock market that will come on crypto in due time. But point being is $58 trillion stock market. The stock market, to my knowledge, from bull market to bear market comes down 30%. 30%, and crypto, while much smaller, only 3 trillion right now, as opposed to 58 trillion, crypto comes down typically 70-80%. 70-80% in value. But we're now seeing Bitcoin, and we're going to see altcoins with ETFs coming out soon, being massively adopted by this institution. So what I am just trying to raise awareness, I'm not saying it's going to happen. You've got to do your own research, trade your own discretion, and make your own decisions. But what I'm trying to raise awareness about is the fact that there's a strong possibility, or a possibility in general, that the corrective behavior of Bitcoin after the cycle may not be the typical 70%. Let's say Bitcoin rises to 150k. It may not come down to 30k. It may only come down to 70k at a 50% pullback, as opposed to the typical 90%, 80%. And then you see institutions start to buy down here and then go back up again. It's a possibility of such. I'll be playing this video later on in the stream, or even during the video I'm creating later on as well. But it's once more a thing we need to take into account. Bitcoin is going to continue running up more and more in value as the years go on. Bitcoin's only at 95, 94k right now. It's going to be an asset that, in my belief, will reach the millions of dollars in the years to come. Casper is going to get more adoption as well, because it actually had the medium of value, the medium of exchange, the actual use case that Bitcoin does not have. One big catalyst of such is going to be the stablecoin regulations. The timing of stablecoin regulations in the United States couldn't be more coincidentally perfect. With the crypto bull market heating up, regulatory clarity is arriving just in time to unlock the next phase of massive adoption. Stablecoins, already poised to become the dominant cross-border rail, will now be fully legitimized just as institutional players flood the market. The clear path for stablecoin use is exactly what's needed to propel this cycle to new heights. Regulations falling into place as the bull cycle ramps up could mean a seamless transition from retail frenzy to institutional mainstreaming, creating a liquidity boom that's more powerful than anything we've seen before. The perfect storm, and it's happening right now. The Federal Reserve recently just dismissed one of their anti-crypto policies. They only have one left. So banks now have more freedom to get involved in crypto. And there's speculation, while no confirmation right now, but currently there's 2 stablecoin bills from the House and the Senate. And they're trying to, it's got an 80% correlation, they're trying to blend it to be perfectly matched. And that's going to be released sometime in the next couple of months. The timeline we're being given right now is by August, which means, again, early Q3. We're going to see a stablecoin bill come out, the green light the institution to get more into crypto, and we'll see a mass flood of liquidity flooding into the market. ETFs will see the highest amount of inflows, but you'll see that money, as always, just trickle down into the altcoins. There's going to be a crypto culling as well. A lot of assets will go to zero, those who haven't got value or are just scams or just not worth it. But in the cycle, for me, everything's going to go up. And once the cycle comes back down, as it does do normally, maybe not as much as usual when it comes down though, a lot of assets and alts will go to zero. For me, Casper is one that is going to survive and dominate. Absolutely dominate. Also, I think they'll do very, very well. They're starting to see early adoption right now for institutions as they're getting ready. Tau, I made a video just yesterday, where the video I made yesterday was talking about Casper, Sui, and Tau as 3 assets that I think will do very, very well in May. If you've not watched it, go check it out, because this is my belief right now from what we've seen right now. We've seen Grayscale being bouncing on top of Sui, absolutely pumping as much information as possible about that project. And now they're doing it for Tau as well, which Tau is one of the most promising AI projects as well. I think Tau can do very, very well. For me, I believe it's a matter of time that Grayscale starts considering Casper again. When, we don't know, but I think for what Casper's building, it's going to be something they cannot avoid or ignore because it'd be unwise as an investment, as a Wall Street institution. You know, we've got a lot of that stuff coming through. It's very, very good. Tau, I think, it's going to do very well in May, as Sui will do, as Casper will do in May. In other news, which is bullish and bearish, Trump apparently is going to be launching another crypto token, WLFI, tied to his company, World Liberty Financial, in the next 2 weeks. Which, of course, is good because it seems, again, more support into the crypto market from the governmental authorities. But again, we saw what Trump did to the markets for altcoins last time, completely obliterated them all. And then Trump as an asset itself also capitulated down as well. So it's not, while it did, do an insane gain, again, trading on discretion. If you want to get into that and try and take the risk, go for it. But me personally, I'm unlikely to be looking at World Liberty. Very unlikely to be looking at World Liberty. It's going to suck all the liquidity out again. That's ultimately what's going to happen, I believe, as well. So it's got the benefit of, potentially see some more pullbacks in the immediate short term, which we did highlight. Again, if we look at the M2 supply, it would also match up as well. Looking at the M2 supply, we can see M2 suggests that we're going to start seeing a pullback of sorts going into the next couple of weeks or so. So maybe the World Liberty, Trump's coin, will be the reason for that. And then after that, we'll see the price start pumping again when the markets recover. We'll have to wait and see, of course. I'm a bit, standoffish about the new World Liberty coin, but you can't do anything about it. Either you just cry about it or you prepare, and preparing can be either want to take advantage of that, or potentially just taking out and holding stable coins, or just firming it and buying the dips. Don't be emotional, be logical, don't get shaken out, because they're trying to do whatever they can to shake you out your bags right now. Because you've done your research, you know what you're holding, you're not going to be in a problem, really. Worst case, you see more pullbacks. Frustrating, of course, want to see the market pump, but think about it, we're in April going into May, we're in May. June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 7 months left of the year. Potentially, therefore, 7 months left of the cycle. We don't know when the cycle is going to be right now. But a lot of signs suggest a lot of bullish momentum going from this point forwards. Some pullbacks are expected, but bullish momentum in general from this point forwards. Mastercard, one of the biggest payment providers behind Visa. Today, we announced our end-to-end capability to support stablecoins. That's huge. We just spoke about stablecoins just recently, ensuring payments can be made or received using them anytime, anywhere. Alongside proven Web3 leaders, finance and fintech, we're empowering consumers and businesses to use stablecoins as easily as the money in their bank accounts. That is what Mastercard are talking about, and that is again just one of many massive Web2 TradFi companies who are now actively adopting and using crypto technology. They want stablecoins is the gateway to everything else, to the yield farming, to tokenizing everything on our blockchain. Stablecoins is the gate to let them all get into crypto, and after that, and they see the benefit of that, they'll want the whole candy store. Early doesn't even begin to get into where we're at right now. Casper for me is when we can retire to we have 1 week until we see 2.0. Could we see more pullbacks? Definitely. Don't be emotional. It's always possible. Again, if you're looking at the fib retracement right now, we can see that Casper, by this element of TA, suggests we're going to see a pullback going towards the 8.7 or even maybe 8 cent zone. So we could see more pullbacks. There's nothing necessarily driving us up right now besides the FOMO of 10 BPS, but we could see it come down here in the next few days and then see a quick reversal potentially, especially if we do get the Casplex launching stablecoins and smart contracts very, very quickly after 10 BPS as well. And equally, as I highlighted here in the video as well, connecting to other blockchains as well, very early, could be very, very bullish. We've still got a lot more to wait for, a lot more to come. And this, I think May is going to be a good month in general, but it's going to also be laying the fact. Again, I made a lot more in-depth analysis, reasoning for why in the video here, for why I think May is going to be good, talking about the macro news and then these three assets in particular. But I think May as a whole is going to be a month we see maybe some more consolidation, but a bit more up momentum, and then going into June, July, we'll start seeing it go a little bit more parabolic, provided again we get no shocks and surprises from Trump, which this could arguably be one of them here. We'll have to wait and see. EVM in May, can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely insane. Get early adoption for Casper through Ethereum virtual machines. You'll see other blockchains bridging to Casper as well, and then you'll see the ZK stuff coming out in Q3, Q4, which should be absolutely nuts. Getting close to the main event 100%. Very, very close. Development on Casper network is going to be absolutely nuts. Nice video. I appreciate very much, Thomas, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What's up, Art Zero, man? You're doing very, very well. Question J, what would be Bitcoin's market cap at 200k? So to figure out the market cap, you go to the asset in question and you do the supply times by the price. So to get the calculator out, because I'm not going to do that in my head respectfully, I'm not that much of a whiz. Just to round up to 20 because, right, well, no, the 19.5, right, that's 19,500, yeah, that 90 million supply times the price, which is 94,939. That's what it is right now. You want to do 200k, right? Of course. Apologies for that. Yeah, that is a very silly mistake. So you want to do 200k. 200k times 200k. So it'd be just short of $4 trillion market cap. So if Bitcoin got to 200k, it'd be just below a 200 trillion, just below a $4 trillion market cap if you get 200k Bitcoin. Which, you know, is insane. If that happens as well, likelihood, because Bitcoin takes up about 58% of the total crypto market cap, that means if we see a $4 trillion market cap in Bitcoin, it will correlate to probably about a 7 trillion or just 7.5 total market cap for crypto, which is also very, very bullish. I used to listen to Da Vinci all the time, but his laugh really hurts my ears. I cannot attest to his laugh. I don't listen to him that frequently. But I mean, Vinci Jeremy, he's one of those people that, from what I did listen to him about, he knows his stuff. But he's also one of those people which, as you would expect, he did very well from finding Bitcoin early, and he used that early call and, you know, I wouldn't say luck, because evidently he must have done his research or had some belief in it. But he used that obviously to steamroll his communities, which is fine. I mean, that's technically what we've done here. Found a fantastic Casper community here, and we've been talking about it since it was at all-time highs. Of course, we talk about the whole time down as well. But similarly as well, with us being a Casper early, this is going to be a channel and a community where we've found Casper early, and we're going to be one of the OGs talking about it continuously for years to come. I thought Casper EVM was cancelled due to lack of funding. Yes. So EVM is just the word for Ethereum virtual machine. Casper EVM was a project that was trying to build on top of Casper, like Igra and Casplex have done. So when I say Casper EVM, I'm talking about just actual Ethereum virtual machines coming on top of Casper layer 2s. But the project Casper EVM, they are not currently working on Casper. They just mentioned about potentially building dApps on top of the layer 2s, but right now, I mean, actually, I think they made a post about it. Let me check if they're still, they are still here. Okay. Yeah, so there's a protocol I've been working on for over a year, even before Casper EVM. That's 100% complete. I finished it about 2 months ago, and once Igra has a public testnet, I'll deploy it there so everyone can interact with it. I won't share any details until it's live on the testnet, but it's a completely unique protocol, not a fork of anything. I believe everyone will use it and have a fun experience, to say the least. So interesting, of course, nice little leak there. What it will be, we have no idea, but they have now shut down. But Ethereum Virtual Machines is not Casper EVM, it's something else. Well, it's similar, but it's not the same thing. That's an initiative trying to build on Casper. Ethereum Virtual Machines is just its own thing, its own base rollup. Amazed at how you talk about Casper like every day. Thanks for keeping me up to date with all the things happening in the space. Hey, you're welcome, brother. And again, that's kind of what we do. What I wish I could do is I need to try and do more so, and I make a video every day as well as a live stream on Casper. I'm sure I could figure out a way to do so. But yeah, talking about Casper every day, you know, it's not always the easiest things, and sometimes I'm sure people can be able to tell when it's a video or a stream that's going to be kind of just a general filler one. But there's always new to talk about in crypto, and I can always correlate this stuff back to Casper. I mean, Casper, for example, they're building stablecoins here. So if I didn't talk about all this stuff here, and go through, you know, the free Discord community we have. We have a free Discord community, by the way, which you can check out for free in my homepage here or in the description. And all the information that I found today, some of it's just through my Twitter, some of it is also just going through my community, which I posted it already. So stuff like this interview here, I posted in there already. And in the interview, we can hear the 30-minute mark where Capital confirms they're talking to other blockchains. And I can correlate that back to what we're talking about today, which is why Vinci Jeremy is saying it's not going to do well the cycle. I'm like, well, you believe that, but I disagree because Casper is going to get adopted in the cycle. Capital confirms as much, so I think it can still surprise people. How will Casper work without electricity? Let me. How will Casper work without electricity? I mean, it's a case of the network can run without electricity. It can run offline. So because Casper is a digital currency, right? It exists on computer networks, so they exist on specialized hardware. So they are dependent on the constant supply of electricity to function. So without electricity, Casper wouldn't really work. But at the same time, it can still you'll have offline elements to it. Like the element of mining Casper might be problematic, but the element of transacting Casper won't be problematic because it has offline networks. If that makes sense. So is May 5th the day? Well, May 5th is going to be the day Casper is reborn, no doubt. Will it be the day we see Casper explode in value? I'm skeptical about it because I don't think 10 BPS in itself is a price pumper. But who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong. I'll pray to be wrong. Hopefully Casper just starts pumping from here as well. Although it comes back more so, hey, I'll buy more of the dip. I'm not worried. I see Casper doing very well the cycle and years to follow anyway. So welcome back, DC bro. Hello from the past. Hopefully you enjoy and are, caught up ready right now. Welcome back, Ghosty brother. Hope you're doing very, very well as well. And welcome back to the channel. And you too, Jose. Hello, everyone. Holding on to Casper Strong. You know it. Random question. Are you bullish on the Nintendo Switch 2 console release June 5th? That's a very funny question. I do actually have a Switch, which I have very rarely played. I got the Switch when it first came out. And I got the Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Violet. I got Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Astral Chain. I got some very cool games on there, but I never got through one of them because around the time I got the Nintendo Switch, I was just so busy and never got through. And the one I got through the most was almost Pokemon Violet. That game was, very fun, despite it being quite glitchy. From what I saw about the Switch 2, there was something I saw about the Switch 2 when I saw the trailer about it, and I was like, that is just so scammy. I'm trying to think it's expensive, of course, for a console at least, and if I'm honest, I'm more so a PC gamer now, so I don't use the Switch very often. As I mentioned, it's just collecting dust right now underneath my desk. I'm trying to remember what it was about it. There's something about it that I just didn't like. I think it was the fact that I think with the Switch 2 you had no way to play Switch at all, like old Switch stuff. There was some unique features about it that looked very, very cool. But I mean, truth be told, I think it's more so the money. I mean, I think Nintendo are one of the most powerful and influential companies in the world, and they give no cares about the people who buy the game. They don't care at all. Think about Pokemon. Pokemon as a game, Nintendo being behind it. Pokemon has so much potential to be the best game ever. But every single year they release one, there's something buggy about it. It's just not good, or it's not fantastic. To be fair, it might also be child nostalgia, or younger nostalgia, just being like, oh, I love the Pokemon games growing up, and now it's not the same. But either way, my stance on Switch 2 is I might get one if I just need to have a little bit of portable playing, and I get my Casper bag through it, I guess. But I'm better off just just not. I don't think I'm that bullish on it personally. But I mean, the new Mario Kart game actually looks really, really cool though. The open world stuff, I thought that was quite cool. I'm still here, man. I'm just reorganizing my mining room. Hey, good stuff, Kryptonian, bro. Keep it up, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing the final design. PC Master Race. Oh yeah, PC is definitely the Master Race. I used to be, I think the first console I had was Game Boy. Then it was obviously the DS, 3DS. Then I had an original Xbox. That was also really, really cool. And then I had a PlayStation 4, and that was really good as well. And then after PS4, then the PS5 was like coming out, but I already had a PC at that point. I was doing work on a PC, and then I ended up making an actual gaming PC, and I realized that PC gaming is just so much better because you can still play controller games on PC, and then, you know, mouse and keyboard is just so good. You know, play like the games I've been avid on playing for over the years would have been Call of Duty, more so Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, CSGO. That game was elite. A bit of Rocket League. Played Valorant. I mean, I did quite well in Valorant. I reached like Immortal or something like that. I'm quite an avid strategy gamer as well. And like stuff like Civilization 6, like that game I love as well. XCOM games, I love those as well. So yeah, and obviously the Need for Speed, you know, some of them are also quality as well. I'm quite a diverse gamer, truth be told. Although, one thing that's weird about me, I can't get behind horror games. I love horror films because I can predict what's going to happen, so I can just sit back and kind of just wait for the jump scare. But playing the game, I feel too immersed, and I don't like being too immersed, so I don't like horror games. Until Dawn was not fun. Mantra equals Casper equals Luna. I do not see how you get a correlation between Casper and Mantra and Luna. I can disprove that, you know, with just using CoinMarketCap. Just using CoinMarketCap can disprove that. Because that makes no sense. Mantra and Luna have infinite max supplies. So by that logic, they can continuously keep printing and making more tokens out of thin air. Both max supply. Casper has a fixed supply of 28.7 billion. So by and large, Casper cannot, at the very, and just on that alone, that's not even going into the actual intricate, in-depth element of what Casper is comparatively to Mantra and Luna. But just on that alone, supply-wise, tokenomics-wise, Casper is not at any way close or similar to Luna or Mantra. That's not even remotely correct. You know, Casper's done badly in price over the last 9 months. Yeah, we can attest to that. We can agree to that. But different as well. Look at Mantra and Luna. They capitulated. They crashed because of their bad tokenomics. Casper's just come down a lot. There's no comparison. No comparison at all. What do you have in your rig? Oh, I've had this PC is like, I need to get a new PC actually. As much as I could just upgrade the inner, like, you know, inner hardware, I actually get more satisfaction for building a PC from scratch. So all I'd have to transfer over was my SD, my hard drive and my solid state drive. But it's a very old PC. I got it like 4, 5, 6 years ago. I think I have a 2070X RTG, like GeForce 2070 X is really, really old. I only have like 16 gigs of RAM, which is also really small. I need to get more than that. That's why I have so much PC problems right now, because my RAM's not enough. And I don't even know what my power supply is as well. Those are the only two factors I know about. The graphics card, and the graphics card is too old, and the RAM is not enough. That's the big problem with my PC. I mean, it runs fine, you know, although it does struggle when it gets hot. And my room right now is boiling because of just the room I'm in, so that sucks. But hey, it'll last 1 more year, I'm sure, and then I'll use my Casper earnings to get the supercomputer of all supercomputers, just so I can watch the market from more depth, you know. No, Mantra does not equal Casper. That's also true. What did you just say? Ban this man by this internet. I don't know what I just said. If it was me you're talking about Don, then I mean, yeah, I don't know. Retire with Casper? Yeah, I do believe so. Why did you say retire with Casper? 1 week remaining with Crescendo. I say that because Casper becomes reborn with Crescendo, and for me, and as you know, being quoted, to quote Casper Dawn, other people from Casper is the beginning of the end for Casper is at 10 BPS. So, you know, Casper is extremely early, and it's gonna go through a game-changing upgrade in 7 weeks. Well, not 7 weeks, 7 days, 1 week. So the idea of retire with Casper today is my way of saying Casper is undervalued. 10 bps is when everything kicks off and it starts going astronomically with more developments and upgrades coming through, and the market starts to rally up more so as well going into May. So I think, yes, that is the beginning of the end, and that's why we could retire Casper. Casper, I think, is going to exceed expectations this cycle, and of course, yes, to follow as well. When will we see the screenshot of our wallet? When will we screenshot our wallet? Whenever you want. I'm confused with the question personally. If you could clarify what you mean, I might be able to give you an answer. You can screenshot, if you want to screenshot wallet, go for it. Your 1390 does 1 giga hash. I mean, yeah, 3090. Gosh, I would love a source. I love that. I'd love that. My mining rigs do 40 terahash, meaning that I have the compute power of 40,000 1390 GPUs in my mining room. Damn, you've got an absolute behemoth of a setup right there, Kryptonia. I can't lie. I'm very, very jealous. All that mining power just to mine Casper to keep it secure. This one extra hash is all you in it. It's all you, I guarantee it. How many Casper you need to retire living in the West? Everything's so expensive nowadays, you know. It depends on also what part of the West you like. If you're in the UK, you arguably need more than if you need more in the UK than you do live in the United States. Actually, I lie, because in the UK you do have free healthcare. And I've seen some ridiculous videos of how expensive healthcare can be in America. It just depends. It depends. You'll need probably a few million, you know. You probably need a few million. Like, end of the day, if you have a few million and then you can reinvest that all in as well, then, you know, and make the money work for you, then you're sitting comfy. But again, it depends on where you're living, but also your lifestyle, right? If you want to have a lifestyle where you're going out partying every night, then, you know, you're going to need more money. If you want a lifestyle where you just be able to provide for your family, kind of just sit at home relaxing, then you need less. Well, finding for a family can require a lot, but, you know, you need less in that regard. Whenever we screenshot our wallet, I'm ready to share equal top signal. I think I understand what you mean. I mean, me personally, I don't plan to screenshot my wallets because, you know, it's just not something that I particularly want to do. I mean, I believe in Casper, of course, and now, I mean, I'm talking about it all the time, but how much Casper I hold, I keep private for a reason, because it's just money is a very private matter for me, and I think for a lot of people as well. But I don't know who's screenshotting Casper wallets, so they are right now. And they do typically indicate a top signal of sorts, so I see where that's coming from. But at the same time, I think, yeah, I mean, I think Casper's very, very early. People will screenshot their wallets when they want to. I still think Casper's got a lot more run and gas left in its tank for the cycle. We don't talk about the power law anymore. I mean, the power law is not changed, really. It's not really much to talk about it. Right now, we're talking more about fundamentals. And power law is another element of TA, and you know, on this channel, I don't talk about TA very much either. I talk predominantly just about fundamentals and developments in the cycle. But 3 cents is of that. Oh, okay. So no, it's not the whole thing. Not the whole thing, but 0.03 of that is me. I mean, even then, that's insane. You know, that's nuts. That's a very much. Think if you go back to all time down here, so you're like, that's insane. Like, only 2 years ago, you'd have been the biggest, one of the biggest miners in the space. Like, that's insane how much you're mining off Casper. So yeah, I can't say more than congratulations. That's insane. Like, why a lot of people are saying Casper prediction only 25 cents? Because they're bearish. Because they're looking too short term. And again, it may happen. Like, I'm not Einstein. I'm not a prophet. I just do what I'm going to start doing as a little added benefit. I'm not going to do it in too much because, again, the benefits of being in the VIP group is weekly live streams, buy and sell alerts, risk management experience, also, you know, institutional alpha research documents and educational video tutorials, all the sort of stuff you get there, more in the community here for 7-day free trial if you want to just check it out. But I will start probably publicizing on the occasion some of the institutional alpha documents that we have correlated in there to Casper and where it's going to go in the cycle, which just makes me more bullish anyways. People who are saying 25 cents Casper, again, it's definitely a possibility. Maybe it reaches that, maybe it goes lower, I don't know. For me, I think it's unlikely, very unlikely, because of everything coming out for Casper the cycle. And again, 25 cents Casper is only around a, what, 7 bill market cap. I see Casper going much higher than 7 billion in the cycle. That's just me personally, at least. But with that being said, I just got another KS7 miner from the DHL guy as we are speaking. Check the Discord. I'll do that right here and now. Funny question, what prediction for gold this year? I've seen people saying 4k gold. I think 4k is quite achievable as well. We're at 3.5k gold right now. I don't know about silver so much, but at 3.3k gold, I think gold can reach 4k. Silver, I don't know. I don't really follow silver that much. Maybe I'll reach 40. Who knows? I have no clue about, but I think gold can reach 4k. Where's the miner? There it is. Yeah. Oh, like Christmas again, Kryptonian. I can see that. Well, have fun opening that baby. With that being said, that'll be it for today's Daily Casper and Crypto live stream. We're making a video later today, kind of going through again where Casper's at right now. You know, the fact that, in my belief, 99% of people will make this mistake. They will make the mistake of believing that Casper is done for. You know, the fact that you're going to see, because one thing that people are failing to account for as well is you've got maxes like Bitcoin maxes like Vinci Jeremy here, who are now accepting Casper as a viable, you know, alternative to Bitcoin. And therefore, the Bitcoin maxes who only like Bitcoin, they won't go into the XRPs and the SUIs, they'll go to the Caspers. That's a lot of people who are going to start going to Casper, therefore, potentially. So people will make the mistake, so we're going to try and bring awareness to that. That being said, if you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Casper development, and just a lot more, have a community where you can chill, chat, and learn more, free Discord's right here. And equally, the VIP group as well is also available. 7-day free trial. Link down below in the description. Also, homepage here as well. And yeah, I'll be back same time tomorrow. Most likely. Take care now. And yeah, keep on